Extractor by Yum Audio is a plugin to extract transients. It's not exactly a transient or envelope shaper. The best way to understand is when I will show you some examples of how it works. The plugin offers a few ways to optimize this extraction of transients. You have transient detection or automatic extraction based on the tempo and note value, and you can let the plugin look at the entire audio of a plugin, or with multiband and the bias slider, let it look more to the higher or lower frequencies. In multiband mode, changing the amount dial can actually change a sound in cool ways. Here's a synth loop. Let me change the bias. You hear that when the bias changes, this synth loop really changes character. It's almost filter-like. If you combine this with the amount you dial in, you can create a nice cool build-up. This changes timbre a lot and can also work to subtle add movement to your tracks. But results may vary, often said and very true for this plugin. If I use this piano, even with an amount of 1% it is too much. Doesn't matter whatever setting I use or how much gain is boosted. Now you can do something creative with this. Set it very extreme. Add a declicker. A cool delay, and some reverb. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on the latest new cool plugins. This video is also made possible by DistroKid. Cover songs is probably one of the many types of songs you would love to do, but uploading to a streaming platforms is always a hassle due to copyrights and required fee because you cover an original song. DistroKid makes this very easy for you by offering the option to do this all for you for $12 per song per year when you have a DistroKid subscription. Use my link in the description to get 7% off of your first year on a DistroKid. You can use Extractor to actually reduce transients, which will sound like you increase sustain a bit as well, but you have to do a little mixing trick. Do the following. Duplicate the track, mute for now. Dialing settings on the first track to just keep the attack. Decide if you need multiband or single band. Now duplicate the plugin to the second track. Dial down the amount to 0 and flip the phase. Use the fader of track 1 to dial in the amount of transient reduction. And you can play with the bias and amount to fine-tune the sound. Do not disable the amount module or change the multiband into single band and vice versa. Same with muting the plugin. Doing that will give you a phasey sound. There must be some sample-based latency in the plugin which isn't compensated by the DAW. Now this is quite an involved workflow and I would love to see the plugin being able to do this on its own, simply by having a negative amount option to remove transients and attacks from a signal. On my Windows 11 system I have GPU graphics issues with this plugin. In default size it halts every graphic in Cubase except the plugin itself. This gets worse how bigger the interface of this plugin is, up until a complete freeze even. I need to resize the plugin to a smaller size than default to have Cubase working properly. I checked and this is due to the Extractor plugin, not any other setting I have on my PC. I hope this gets fixed soon. So if you need a plugin to thin out loops and sounds, or to add some life and movement to already existing audio, check out Extractor. Yum Audio has another very cool tool to work on transient shaping called Slap. This will enhance or replace transients with samples and sounds. Check my video on it, it's displayed on screen and linked in the description below.